Gooey, cheesy, classic, sweet, delicious French onion soup here at Barbecue My Way. You'll want to learn how to make this, trust me. Okay, this dish, very classic, and it doesn't use a lot of ingredients. The secret in making it work well is in my opinion, the caramelization of the onions. So you need a kind of a nice big thick Dutch oven type pan or pot. Is it pot or pan? Pot, Liz? Pot. Anyway, something that's thick bottomed so that you don't burn the onions. So we're going to do put in a couple of tablespoons of butter, and then a little olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Turn that on, and then we're going to melt it down and be right back with the most important part of the dish. By the way, that's not a dirty Dutch oven, that's just the way they start looking after you've used them for years. So be right back. It really is a great fall time or winter dish. Now when I start dumping these onions in, it's going to get real loud, so you may not be able to hear me. But the caramelization of the onions takes about 30 to 40 minutes. We've got medium to medium high heat. The butter is nice and frothy and hot along with the olive oil, so here we go. This is about 6 to 7 fairly large onions, sliced thinly. It's not as loud as I thought it'd be. So this is the part of the French onion soup that takes the most patience and the most care. If you walk away from it too long, the onions burn, and you don't want the flavor of burned onions in your French onion soup. So I'll turn the camera on occasionally here just to let you see the progress and take you right up to where the onions are nicely caramelized. All right, we're about five minutes into the process. There's been absolutely no color change, maybe a little bit of translucence, but some shrinkage, obviously. The onions are coming down, and be back in another 5 to 10 minutes. Show you what we got. About another 5 minutes into the process, and more translucent. There's been French onion soups I've had before that I know for a fact they get to this stage where everything's really soft and clear, and they think, well, time to add the broth, but all you got here really is mushy onions. So now is where the secret starts taking place, or the miracle of caramelization of onions. So stay with me. We're about 10 to 11 minutes into the process now. All right, we're starting to get our first signs of caramelization. We're always stirring every 2 minutes or so, minute or so. And scraping up from the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just starting to turn slightly golden. So we're going to keep with it, and we don't walk away from it for too long of a period of time, if any, at this point. So we're about, in this case, maybe 15 to 17 minutes into it. It's going a little quicker than normal, but each dish has its own personality. Yeah, you can start to see it starting to turn a little golden now. And we're getting real close. Really start to scrape off the sugar from the bottom, which adds to the color. Really smell the sweetness. It's been about 25-30 minutes now. As I said, every fire, every cooking experience is a little different. Just the onions will tell you. We're in really good shape now. We are fully caramelized. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to get too brown. This is absolutely perfect. So now we add roughly a teaspoon or so, or a tablespoon or so of just flour. They say it's to help brown it. I think it's really to add a little bit of hardiness or thickness to the resulting broth, but I want you to stir it around here for just a little bit. You want to cook the flour. You don't want the flour to be raw. So let that cook for a little bit. And now you add roughly the first cup of the beef broth. Oops. We've made this before where we've made our own beef broth. It's delicious. I think it makes a difference, but it's absolutely fantastic with the store-bought as well. Okay, we're going to let that cook for just a little bit. Be right. So now we're going to add the rest of the broth. You want a total of 45 to 50 ounces of beef broth. Roughly a cup of water. And a third of a cup of kind of a dry red wine, like a Cab or a Merlot would be great. Even a Shiraz would work out. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Be right back. All right, we got it to a boil. So we turn all the way down to low. Now we put the lid on. We're going to give her a half an hour just to simmer. So we're going to show you how to put together your soup. I know that sounds funny, but it does take a little planning. Got your broiler turned on? No, I don't. It is now. So we'll take some French onion soup, ladle it into the bowl. Then you float a piece of toasted bread that we've toasted up. A piece of Swiss cheese. My wife just showed me I did the double tap again. I apologize. Throw one in there for luck. For Andrew Locke, Colts fan. And we sprinkle it with some Parmesan. And then we're going to put that in the broiler for about 5 minutes until the cheese is kind of brown, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, one quick piece of advice that I forgot to mention. When you put your bowls under the broiler, you want it to be about 6 inches away. You want to use oven bowls. If you put regular bowls in there, French onion soup all over the place and no dinner. And then lastly, place them on a cookie sheet. Therefore, if they swell up and boil over, because the bread will kind of swell up as it gets moist, you'll have some place for the soup to go instead of burning on the bottom of your oven. So, helpful hints from Dave. Be right back. All right, it's been about 6-7 minutes. And we're going to bring it out. Obviously, the bowls are very hot. Get a close-up of this, Lizzo. Nice and bubbly. Very hot. You don't want it to cool. And we'll have Liz take the beauty bite here in a little bit, tell you how it is. Ooh, look at that. Nice and cheesy and gooey. Liz does the smart thing. She lifts the bread up for a little bit, lets all the steam escape, because it is pretty hot. You want to wait for 5, 6, 7 minutes or so.
It's a big bite.
Yep.
Dave, the onions are really sweet and tender. And it's cheesy.
And delicious.
It's delicious.
Say hello
Good
and
job.
goodbye to Barbecue My Way.
Hello and goodbye.